pretty level along Straight Creek, and there's no real hills or anything until you get to the cave. About an hour and a mile from the base camp to the caving area, and this is us in 2015. I'm proud to say that my wife is the third documented woman to swim in this river, and we're very proud of that, along with Kathy Munthy, Jen and Kathy, who Kathy's icebox was named after, and Tina Shirk, Tina Oliphant. It's very cold. It's 33, 34 degree water, and you have a full wetsuit on and Arctic gloves and feet, and by the time we got here, none of us could feel our feet at all, like wooden bricks. It's pretty tough. So we're trying to rig out of the water. There's going leads at the end of this passage. And continue. This is called the Steel Traverse. Bill Steele put that up, and probably that actual rope in 1977. That's my wife crossing it. Here's Brian on the way back. And basically the whole river passage, there's paleo passages above the main passage. And so there's places where bypass and they climb out of the water. So this cave has got everything. This is one of my favorite photos. Pretty much encapsulates the Gateboat Cave system. You don't have to get wet, by the way. The river passage is a singular passage, and it's 4+ mile long. We've been remapping it since 2006. We've got a long way to go, but luckily procrastination has helped because of technology. Now we have Digital X. For all the remapping, now we just need the data. We're going to regenerate the data by running through it. So this August, the last week of August, we're going to have a trip. If you're interested. This is the SS Tippy. We can't read maps, and so we decided we needed to go through here. And after Ed Cudell and gone through here the year before with full wetsuits, only go around the corner right there and in. That's a lot of work to put the wetsuit on and then dry after that. So we thought, oh, we'll bring a boat, except it's too narrow. So Brian was like halfway up and down, sideways. And then we saw, hey, look, if you look at the map, there's a bypass passage right here. Climb up and over, and you don't even have to get wet. So pay attention to the maps. This is the entrance to Kathy's Icebox. This is the entrance to the Falls. And they connect about a mile or so in the cave. When I made this, which is a while back, all that we've resurveyed or discovered. And then this is the river. There's a cave dive back here. This is about 6 hours, and so we figure it's probably about 10 hours tanks, but there's depth here, and then also in the back of Kathy's Icebox, the water into the mountain. So we're continuing this UC, and this is where on the last trip through the only through trip, I dropped that we were going to use to rappel out of the entrance of the icebox into that water and it's over your head. And we didn't think we were going to get wet, so we didn't have wetsuits. And I still dipped in trying to fish it, and that got us down enough to use the tiny rope we had to across. We camped at the entrance that year, and we were tantalizingly close, and it was one of those, you could imagine like being stranded and yelling, and then the camera like zooming out from you, this massive wilderness by yourself. It's hopeless. All right, this is the lead. This is the best lead we left. Nobody's been in this part of the cave, and no one has reported any water in this level. And this goes around a corner and out of sight, and this is where we're going back to first thing in August. There's the Karst Plateau. This is the thing I was telling you about earlier. It's quite extensive, again, about 8 square miles. It's got every kind of karst you can imagine up there. It's purgatory for cavers because there's about 1,000 pits and no real cave. It's like if you went to, caver purgatory and you spend the rest of your life with water. I'm really selling this, aren't I? All right. Well, guess what? We've marked 1,000 pits up there, so you don't have to go to this. And we've found multiple caves, including this one, left-handed pit. That's 250 feet. That's got 5 feet. That's got 500 aerial shot from July 2003. There's a shortcut, 200-foot rope off the cliff, saved hours. This is a human use cave that's up on top. There's evidence of habitation. Was excavated and found to have 14,000-year-old art. This is the deepest. That is the log that they used to rappel off of in 1974. It's been sitting there ever since. that same one. So it's a slog if you're expecting deep caves. It's not happening that way. All right. That's most of the presentation. I just have a few minutes, so I'm just going to zip through these, the kinds of things we see. We see 6 inches of snow over bee flies, sign of good luck for caving. A badger. Lots of beautiful alpine meadows. All raspberries. Something that scares the hell out of me. I don't know what it is, but it's scary. And it's got to come from somewhere else, and it has to be bad. That's really good. It's a trophy. And we use horses. And I know people sometimes say, why I use horses for a 14-mile flat hike? Because I'm on vacation. And it's still a lot of work, right? So we put up a wall tent, pretend like we're in Nepal. Or we use a one in the tarp and tarpology skills. And we drink 5 pounds of coffee between me and Brian and my wife and one. And we drink and into all the same time. And I don't know if this is illegal. I know there's a bunch of agency folks in here. Does anybody know the statutes or whatever on harvesting ice? We harvested that ice in Kathy's ice box that could be 1,000 years old more. And some outfitters bought us a bottle because we showed them the cave. They just showed up with it. And so we made hopefully 1,000-year-old ice cocktails. It was a great trip, and we're looking forward to having another one. Take care of our backs, and thank you for supporting the Northern Rocky Mountain Grotto, and we'll see you out there.
Up next is Mike Kazmarek talking about Ram's Horn Cave. Pretty special place.
All right, I think you hear me. Well, Ram's Horn Cave, nearby. We were in and out of that thing. I don't know how many times. The cave crawled through all certain parts of it, and knew it well. Those of you have been knew it well. We picked that album. This picture's on there. Levels here in the back, levels of 50 pillars on top of each other. I guess those are kind of along the stripes. following. Yeah. A lot of not a lot of those following. Now, it's called speed exercise. I call it real talk now. When you look at this, the ridge is large enough that you put more lines south. It's not hard to imagine. It goes matter spread. Out there, or taking a certain breakdown, story. I remember this is kind of like the thing I guess. Burning gun, there's Jim Gold, this Chevy. Most of the time, Paul, and the RFI. This is black and white. Hard hat. Have flag type all of they got a secondary overflows on as well. There's at least two say there was at least two forks here to a fork. This is class west. Griffin too. And this is back down back down. And that came down over section. This is a film. I changed ages of the wall. Get up in that. And when we got, I got go down so and that's
Thank you so much, Mike. Yeah, like you said, please don't poach Ramshorn Cave right now. We might be able to get access, and then everyone can get access. Up next is Renee Oaks talking about Fort Stanton.
All right. Hi, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. Good morning. So I'm going to talk about Fort Stanton Cave in New Mexico and Snowy River. And there are several Nrmg members that have been involved in this project over the years. And I've just done 3 trips in there. So the bulk of this is about those trips that I was on. But lots of Nrmg folks have been involved in this. And a shout out to the Fort Stanton Cave Study Project. These guys make everything happen down there. They keep everything very organized, and they set up the bunkhouse and really facilitate all the exploration of the cave. So Fort Stanton is down in southern New Mexico near Ruidoso. It was established as a national conservation area managed by the BLM in 2009. And the entrance is this giant sinkhole, and it's out for probably thousands of years. Fort Stanton itself was a military fort established in the mid-1800s, and the people had explored part of the cave a long time ago, and then cavers started digging in there, exploring further and digging in the 60s and 70s, and they left some glowing leads at the very end and some breakdown. And it wasn't until 2001 that a big breakthrough was made. This is a map of the cave as of 2014. It's a little hard to see on here, probably. Oh, there we go. Cool. So here's the entrance. This is the historic section of the cave that was known for a long time. There was about 7.5 miles known as of 2001. And the big breakthrough that I'm talking about was the discovery of Snowy River. So I'll have some photos of here in a sec. And Snowy River was explored downstream for about a mile, and then upstream to this thing right here called the Crawl from Hell. So they got stopped by a crawlway and gave up for a little bit until 2008. So you're in this muddy section of the cave, and then all of a sudden pop out and you're greeted with Snowy River. So Snowy is this white calcite formation that is extremely delicate, and the first time you ever lay eyes on it, it's like ridiculous. What is this thing? And it was discovered in 2001, but it took a while for anybody to really take that step of actually going on to Snowy River. And so everybody put on white shoes. In this picture, they've got Tyvek suits. This is the very first team to ever walk on Snowy River in 2001 in order to explore it. And it does have a pretty delicate crust, and so you have to really look for the places that are more resistant to walk on and be very clean. What the passage there looks like. It's just miles and miles and miles of this. And Snowy River now is the longest continuous calcite formation in the world. Over 11 of just a river channel coated in calcite. It's ridiculous. It's just this history. Their exploration ended in like 2005. So the cavers had dug through in 2000 river, and then the area that they had dug considered to be unstable and unsafe. So they stopped exploration and started this big shaft because they looked at the map of the cave and saw that there was another way that they could possibly dig down into an area called Mud Turtle and get down into Snowy that way. So this giant scaffolding ladder thing was constructed with the help of numerous volunteers in 2006 for the Fort Stanton. When they finished that and got back down to snowy, they were surprised to find that it was flowing. So every now and then it does flow, and so they had to wait for the 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2007. And then when it resumed in 2008, then they pushed the crawl from hell and found that it finally opened up. When you think about it, because I think you're going over like 11 miles of cave and only 2,000 feet of it is crawling, so not too bad. The challenge with the crawl from hell, clean stuff whenever you're on changes you have to do to put stuff back on. If you're going to walk through any muddy sections when you peel stuff off, it's a very complicated cave to cave in. And in the crawl from hell, you can see there's all this laying on crazy, and you've got these example nail brush and other random weird stuff like that, so that when you do knock something down, you can stop and clean it off, or if you accidentally get a little bit of mud on your shoe, you can stop and scrub that off. It's all about keeping the formation pristine, what we call magic carpet. So there are, I don't know how many hundreds of these things probably in that cave, but they're just strips of plastic that are set up so that you don't have to change your clean shoes into dirty shoes or put shoe covers on, and you can just walk across the mud banks and then go right back again. So it makes it a lot more efficient. But there are a lot of places where you do numerous shoe changes and things. So this is from one of Ian's trip in there, and this is just showing close-up formation. There's all these really cool pockets. He's got his white-soled shoes on here. And in, I think, 2011, I want to say, this area called Rough Country was discovered, which is many, many, many miles down Snowy River. It met this pile of breakdown, and it was like, oh gosh, where's the cave going to go now? And so there was a trip it took 2 trips to survey through this big breakdown mess. One trip? I thought it was the second trip that we finished it. Okay, all right. Thank you. So one trip to survey through Rough Country, but they found it and were stopped at it, and we're like, oh god, I don't even know how to get through this. Full picture of us. So this is the first trip that I did in the cave. So Adam had done a trip in there before I had, and I was talking to him about how to pack to this thing, and he was explaining how the system down there works, and I was like, this sounds nuts. Because what we were doing is spending about 30 hours underground with no sleep, because you got to go like 9 or 10 miles one way, and then survey, and then come back out, and you're carrying all at this time we were carrying all of our water, so we had like 6 liters of water with us, and then all the clean to dirty transition stuff. I've only got a few minutes here, so I'm gonna read through a bunch of pictures from these trips. So there's Adam and some stuff that we found on this trip. What was notable was we went through the end of Rough Country into a place that's now called the Meanders, and it's a big pain in the butt to travel through, because there's multiple shoe cover changes and stuff like that. So more pictures from that trip, just on and on and on and on. That's what a lot of Snowy looked like. And then just kind of a yard sale, but here's all of us taking a break. And yeah, you can, as long as you're in all your clean stuff, you just sit right there on the formation. Kind of wild. We also took some ferromanganese samples. There's a lot of science work going on in there. This is Garrett Jorgensen and Brian Kendrick, who sketched like over a mile of cave that day. Oh, and so the last shot that we took that day was like 260 something feet, one shot. The laser from the disto the dot was so huge that Garrett and I had to like stand next to each other as a target. It was a very long shot, and so it looked like it was going to keep going around the corner, and this is what we were looking at. So that was us at the end of the day, and then we had to travel back out. I think it took us like 9-10 hours to get out or something. Really. And then just one quick slide on where we ended. Right around the corner was Midnight Junction. So a trip that John Lyles did, like just a few days later, a week later, whatever. They found Midnight Junction. Going one way from Midnight Junction, they found all this cool stuff. Harmony Hall, 2012, 2013, and this was probably it started with a key. There was a bit of a mix-up, so we had to break in. Long story, I'll tell you over beer. And then we were able to actually drink water from a pool in the cave called Finger Lake this time, so we didn't have to haul nearly as much water, which was nice. We found these really cool places where you could just see the sequence of events that happen as Snowy was flowing, and look at all these layers. It's crazy. This was probably about midnight when we took a break and did some 5-hour energy shots. Found some box work, which was pretty unusual. And then this was the best part. It was Snowy River south, and at this point we're probably 11 and a half, 12 miles from the entrance, something like that. I mean, we're looking at a 30-hour day. And yeah, so going south, this is how the passage looked going. This is us with our goofy shoe covers on, posing in front of the lead that we left going south. And this is still a lead. That's going around the next bend. 5,700 feet on that trip. Turned around, came out, and there's totals on. The very last thing is I did there's been 2 camps now in the cave, and so I was on the second one, which was summer of 2014. This is at the campsite. We got our little mini cart. This was a crawl that we found called Cut Tree. So for any Trailer Park Boys reference. Anyway, so it was like, did we want to go through this crawl where we could potentially break soda straws, which we did not, but it was pretty scary trying to go under all those, or go this other way around where we might impact Snowy where it had a really thin crust. So it was a catch-23 situation, as Ricky would say. There's something else we found on that trip. Anyway, so yeah, it was a 4-day trip. We got over 6,000 feet of survey. And this is what the map looks like now-ish, although there were a couple trips in 2018 that aren't on here. So yeah, that thing is still a lead down here. So at 4:30 a.m. junction on the camp trip, we went the other direction, and Snowy River South is still beckoning. So it was flowing. The reason that has happened since 2014 is because Snowy started flowing again, and it didn't stop until last year. And so there were a couple expeditions just this past fall with over 12 that were lead. And it's 34.6 miles long, second longest in Mexico. And we can't wait to get back to. And I am out of time.
Thank you so much, Peter. Finally, Mr. Irving Sawyer.
Thank you. I promise I will keep this quick. We realized that we have a coveted spot. It's 15 minutes before lunch is served, so we will be really quick with our update. But Savannah and I traveled to State College, Pennsylvania 2 weekends ago for the Board of Governors meeting, and there are a few important things that we want you all to be aware of. First, there's a Board of Governors election that's going on right now. Voting closes at the end of the month. There are several people from Colorado that are running, and so I would encourage you to review everyone's statements and vote for folks that you think represent Western Cavers. The other thing I wanted to share with you all is that the NSS site. So we're going to be working with a marketing firm based in Whitefish to rebrand the NSS to make it more attractive to younger cavers, and also do some marketing work across our social media and web venues. So we're really excited about that, and we're hoping to have a huge facelift for that site published this summer. mentioned that the convention this summer is going to be in Tennessee. So for those of you who haven't had an opportunity to go cave in the tag, this is a great opportunity to visit some really classic caves. Also, I'm really excited that it looks like the 2022 convention is going to be in South Dakota. Everyone's really, really excited about that. And we'll be voting on that. And I think that's it. So, well, I don't know if we won questions. I'm just kidding. $160,000. 1.1 million. We're very, very close. There are two that I'm aware of.
Three. Even wishes he could have been here, but it's a family issue that he has to deal with.
Please vote. Right now, the Northern Rocky Mountain Grotto is tied with the Swanee Mountain Grotto from Tennessee for bog representation for a single grotto. So if we can get some more people in, we will truly have a majority influence on the bog. That's going to be huge.
If there's no other questions, I think the lunch should be ready here shortly. If it's not, we've got it scheduled to start in about 10 minutes. When you guys go through, try not to take too much on your first pass. Make sure there's enough for everybody. So, and then you can have seconds once everyone's done first. Okay. With that in mind, we'll keep the schedules up, and we'll see everybody back here at 12:45. Thank you. I have, excuse me, I have a quick announcement. Off-trail cave trips. There's two people. One is Zach Story. The other is James Cummins. So please talk to them if you want to go caving off-trail.